Hey, it's Kino. Welcome to beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm gonna do a video today I'm excited about. It's consistency in game. So what I mean by consistency in game? Consistency in game can be how often you go out. That's one element. However, that's another vlog in and of itself. What we're talking about today is, are you delivering the same type of game consistently? Are you doing the same things, using the same approaches, using the same material? That's important. That's what we're going to talk about today. So one thing we see that consistently happens is for emerging pickup artists, newbie pickup artists, they read all this material and they read it and they keep seeing all these different styles and they go out into the field and they deliver it poorly. It seems awkward. They get blown out. It's just, they're getting no results. And the reason this is happening is because instead of focusing on what works best or figuring out what works best, they keep changing styles. It's really not an effective method. And one blessing that happened to me, and I didn't realize at the time, when I got started, I was so excited. I didn't read a lot of pickup material. I read 2 books and I was out there doing it. And that actually helped me because it helped me develop my style very quickly. So this is what I'm gonna tell you. If you're 6'10", 225 pounds, play basketball. If you're 6'3", 255 pounds, play football. Find a style that works and stick with it. Let me give you a metaphor for what I'm talking about. When I was growing up, one of my favorite fighters was a fighter named Sweet Pea Whitaker. And he was a small guy, he was fluid, he was fast, didn't ever knock anybody out. Occasionally he did, but not very often. But he was a master technician, a master boxer, and people couldn't touch him. Well, before one of his biggest fights against Felix Chito Trinidad, he decided he was gonna promote this fight by telling everybody how he was gonna knock Trinidad out. That was Trinidad's fight, not Whitaker's fight. The interesting thing that happened is for the first 6 rounds, Sweet Pea was doing his thing, he was boxing, being who he was using his same consistent style. It wasn't even close. Felix Trinidad could not touch him. After about that point, he started sitting down on his punches, not moving, trying to knock Felix Trinidad out. He lost the fight, and he lost the fight in those last 6 rounds because he wasn't doing what he consistently did. The question becomes, if I don't try all these different styles, how do I determine what style works for me? Well, the first thing you need to do is remember, you need to be congruent with who you are. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of person am I? And does this style of game fit that style of person? You know, if you're a quiet guy, reserved guy, and you try to go out and become Party Bob, that's probably not gonna work for you. You know, flip side of the coin, if you're party guy and you're trying to have slow, serious conversations, that's probably not gonna work with you. It's not congruent who you are. So find a style that fits you as a person, that you're comfortable with, and execute that repeatedly. I'm cold. I don't know about y'all, but I'm cold.
Come warm up.
Come warm up. Huddle.
Huddle. Body heat.
Now, how do we implement this, okay? And when we talk about implementation, you're thinking about 3 different ways. You're talking about pregame, you're talking about infield, you're talking about recap. So pregame,
I said to the window, to the wall.
If you're a person who uses routines, you want to rehearse those routines. You want to do it in the mirror, you want to do it to the plant, you want to do it to the dog. It doesn't matter. You want to rehearse those routines so that they're second nature. You're not having to think about them in field. You're actually being able to think about her responses, her actions, and gauging your success. Now, if you're a natural, you also kind of want to pick your topics in advance. You want to know if the conversation's going well, here's where I'm going to go with the conversation.
Cause I come home and now
So we're talking about executing in the field. And what my goal is, what works for me is, I go out, I know exactly how many opens I intend to do that night, and my goal is to push each interaction as far as comfortably possible. There are some drills which want you to stay in the set until she's either all over you or she's running away from you. This is not that exercise. The goal is to build up consistency. And the way to become consistent is simply to do a lot of opens, push your material as far as possible, and that's a major step to improvement. All right, so tell me something.
Yes?
You catch your man cheating. You mad, right? But
If she's ugly, I'll be pissed. If she's hot, can I join?
But wait. How mad can you be if you were already cheating?
None.
Okay, all right.
None.
That's my argument. Just to make sure I wasn't wrong.
No.
No, my friend of
Why?
mine.
You just catch your girl cheating?
No, I didn't catch my girl cheating. But the girl I work with, she's been talking about she's been cheating on her man for like months now.
That's rude. That's rude.
This is rude, but she been talking to everybody. And then she found out he was cheating. She acted all pissed off today. I'm like, girl, really? Like, I didn't call it out though. I just thought it. So anyway, I'm
What's
Kino.
your name?
So what if you're natural? The good news is the concepts are basically the same. You want to pick how many that you want to open. You want to have the conversations that you want to talk about, the topics you want to talk about in mind, and you want to practice basically conversing and vibing as long as possible, as long as comfortably possible, because that's the key to natural game. So your night's over, it's time to recap. How do you determine if your night was successful? It's very simple. Did you do all the opens that you wanted to do? Did you push each interaction as comfortably far as possible? If you did those things, regardless of how the girls responded, you had a successful night. I had to grab the camera because I gotta make a point. If you're with a girl and she's all over you and you eject because you say, well, I have 3 more sets to open, you're a dumbass. Now, what if you didn't do all your sets and it had nothing to do with a girl being all into you? What triggered that hesitation? When you catalog and you document and you find what triggers those points of hesitation, you can beat those. Next, you want to look at all the sets you did. What went well and what didn't go well. If you write this down, you'll start to see patterns. And once you see the patterns and what you need to work on, that sets the stage for your game to just explode, to take off, because you realize where your weaknesses are and you can address them head on. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog on consistency in game. So if you apply these techniques, again, for your pregame, for your infield, and your recap, before you know it, you'll be cooler than the other side of the pillow, baby.